Anyway, on to our next story. Thao, what are you doing? What are you doing? An emergency, what is it? What's you call it? Emergency declaration or executive order. I'm sorry. An executive order. All of a sudden, mere weeks before she's about to be recalled, no one's giving her money. The unions are giving Carol Fife hundreds of thousands of dollars, or at least 150. Everyone else is getting money that's a progressive, but nothing to Thao, even from the Delaney. I think they gave her like 10 grand. All this money you raise from your family members, giving you money from states away, how come you can't raise any money, Shane? But anyway, all of a sudden she has a change of heart and she wants to begin encampment sweeps with as little as 24 to 48 hours with zero offers of housing. Now, this is against Oakland's encampment management policy. How do I know? I've been pretty much the only person in Oakland calling for the enforcement of the encampment management policy as aggressively. I'm not saying no one else asked for it, but no one's filed lawsuits to compel the city to do it. No one has put out change.org petitions that have received tens of thousands of signatures to compel EMP enforcement. So let's go down through the years, and here's what I'm trying to show. When we asked for the encampment management policy to be followed, the progressives called us all types of dirty names, evil, hypocrite, you name it. This is what they called us. Then all of a sudden, when Thao wants to have the most draconian, even worse than the encampment management policy. The encampment management policy offered 30 days notice. You had to offer shelter. It was in alignment with grants passed. Now all of a sudden, she's like, I don't care about that policy. I'm going to get rid of the policy via executive order, throw the policy away, which I'm not even sure is legal. Doesn't talk to OPD. There's no way you're going to close an encampment down without OPD. And she tried to get some political brownie points by making this grandiose statement she's going to sweep up and clean up the whole city. All she did was lose her far left support, what little she had left. She didn't gain any support on the other side. We think that she's a joke and she's pandering. But anyway, let me make my case. So I'm going to go through and present to you. We're going to go back down through the years, right? So remember when we filed a lawsuit in 2021? Thao voted on the encampment management policy, and she was a city council member during this time.
Part of the landscape. But this evening, we're taking a closer look at the sprawling homeless camps spread out across West Oakland. One group says that the city's failing to solve a growing problem. KPIX5's Andrea Borba has that story for us tonight. Andrea?
Well, Alan, this group has filed suit against the city for, they say, making promises and platitudes and not taking a crack at solving the issue of homelessness here in the city of Oakland. From Chopper 5, you can see encampment after encampment fanned across Oakland. They're tucked near West Oakland BART and near freeways and in neighborhoods. Human suffering on the streets and sidewalks. Under a policy passed by the City Council in October 2020 called the Encampment Management Policy, these were supposed to be removed after 6 months, and folks moved into housing. A collection of groups called the We Deserve Better Alliance has filed a 70-page lawsuit against the city for failing to enforce the policy.
We spent a bunch of money hiring people to do it, and then it was virtually ignored.
Among the problems, the simple lack of housing for the unhoused population.
You cannot close a camp down and evict anyone without having a place for them to live that's equal or better than the current situation.
Rachel and her wife are running into this problem. They find a complex that takes housing vouchers, but the caseworkers are overloaded and don't get back to them.
Some think that we all want to be out here. That's not the case, ladies and gentlemen. Some of us want housing. Some of us are putting forth the effort to do what we can.
Melissa Bookin is from the Oakland Compassion Project and says the nonprofits competing against each other must start working together to find solutions in the absence of leadership from the city.
Talk to your unhoused neighbors. Learn from them, as I have over the last year and a half, along with Vince, about the seemingly insurmountable number of obstacles they face in achieving their desires to lift themselves up out of homelessness.
Now, the lawsuit is not seeking funds from the city, simply enforcement of the law that it put in place back in October of 2020. It was supposed to take effect in January 2021. We've reached out to multiple city leaders today about this issue. We have yet to hear back, Alan.
Yeah, love to find out why. Okay, Andre, stay with it. Thanks so much.
We never found out why. The city fought and demurred and fought and challenged our lawsuit until we dropped it because the court ruled that it was not a mandatory duty for the city to uphold a policy, its own law. You heard that right. The city does not have a mandatory legal duty to uphold the policies they pass. They're allowed to pass policies and violate them. And we never heard a word from Mayor Thao ever about this. She didn't talk about the encampment management policy on the campaign trail. She didn't talk about the encampment management policy as mayor. What's going on? We were attacked. Now, you heard that interview. We had unhoused neighbors with us. We talked about the holistic way to abate encampment, and we're trying to provide solutions for how we could actually follow this encampment management policy. But I was regularly demonized, called for all types of names, and that was the beginning of the attacks on my person and Neighbors Together, which was founded for this purpose at the moment to address our homeless crisis. Where's all that energy today toward the mayor? As you clearly heard, we did not want people swept up with our Office of Housing. So let's look for a moment at what is currently happening. But first, before we look at what she's currently doing, I want you to look at just 1 month ago. Just 1 month ago, Thao was asked about homelessness in Oakland. This is after the Supreme Court decision of Grants Pass was removed. After that, 1 month ago, look at what she sounds like. And then I'm going to show you what she switched to when she tried to turn into Cruella, or whatever the lady's name is, from 101 Dalmatians, flushing puppies down the toilet and cutting their heads off. This lady just wants to sweep up all the homeless away. That's not Oakland. Oakland is not like that. And we've never called for encampment sweep with no notice, little as 24 or 48-hour notice. Shame on you, Shane. Well, let's look at how she talked just a month ago, before those polls came back in, and she realized her ass was grass.
Right now is Oakland Mayor Thao. Thanks, Jess. Well, joining me live right now is Oakland Mayor Thao. And Mayor, homelessness remains a key issue in your city. You're at the site of the former Wood Street encampment that was cleared last year. Now, given today's executive order from Governor Gavin Newsom, has the city received any direction from the governor on how to move forward with these type of sweeps?
You know, like you just stated, we are here at the Wood Street site. When I came into office just last year, we had hundreds of people who lived on this site. And so we worked together to ensure that we took down the site so that we can actually build affordable housing. The way that we move forward in the city of Oakland is exactly what the governor is asking us to do, which is really getting people off the streets and into shelter. We have 100% affordable housing right behind us. And this is what we're invested in the city of Oakland. Not only are we removing the homeless tents and what have you, but we're also building affordable housing. We're excited about Prop 1 passing so that we can have permanent supportive housing, but we're going to continue this work to make sure that people live in a dignified way. And if you ask me, living in a tent is not dignified.
Absolutely. But given the order, and yesterday you were also clearing out the toll plaza near the Bay Bridge, that encampment down there. What is the plan moving forward? Could we see more sweeps moving forward within the next month?
You know, I wouldn't call them sweeps themselves. They're going to be encampment cleanup and management. And so what that means is that anywhere where, you know, our kids are walking to school, to make sure that our neighborhoods are clean or what have you, we will be coming in to clean up. Not just that, but we'll be offering shelter beds. I think that.
You heard that. You heard that. We'll be offering shelter bags. Remember, we're not sweeping. We're just cleaning up, and we'll be offering shelter bags. Remember that.
It's incredibly important, and it's part of our Oakland culture to ensure that there's dignity and compassion when we address the homeless encampments. And so we will continue to go out with social services.
Okay. All right. Remember what she just said? Now watch this video. Watch this video now. Watch this one now.
Plan to ramp up sweeps of homeless encampments. An executive order issued today by Mayor Sheng Thao. KTVU's Betty Yu, live tonight in Oakland with the story. Betty?
Mike, Mayor Sheng Thao said that being homeless in Oakland isn't a crime, but it doesn't give people the right to break other laws. Now, she said that the workers who carry out this new initiative will lead with compassion and service. Mayor Sheng Thao said Oakland is taking a more aggressive stance on homeless encampments in the wake of a U.S. Supreme Court ruling in June that granted cities new authority to clear tents more quickly. Aunt Moreno lives under the overpass near the Oakland Police Department headquarters. What if they swept this one?
Wouldn't be the first time.
Where would you go?
I mean, ain't no telling.
You don't have a plan. In a pre-recorded statement, Mayor Sheng Thao said the order is effective immediately.
Always
the city will focus on encampments near schools, small businesses, and homes. Workers will also target encampments that block traffic and bike lanes or impede first responders from doing their jobs.
She doesn't understand. People don't want to live outside. This is a mental health issue. I was homeless for 12 years. I want to see some crew or like a crew of 20 come out here, some outreach psychologists.
The mayor said homeless people will be offered shelter and services. If the city offered you shelter, would you take it?
I guess it depends on the circumstances. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be going to drug programs or none of that.
The city said it's been actively clearing tents. In fact, on Friday, it cleaned up a long-standing homeless encampment on MLK Jr. Way, where it said crime was rampant.
We do have to clean this because it's ugly. This is the Bay Area. This is supposed to be like, where they come to vacation and everything, but it's kind of hard to say, look at the Bay Area and it's a mess.
The mayor directed all city departments, including police and fire, to fully execute the order and enforce city codes to protect critical and essential infrastructure. The Oakland Police Union issued a statement calling the move a last-minute political stunt before Mayor Thao's recall election in November.
Yep.
The mayor and the city of Oakland has exactly 2 officers assigned to the encampment unit. There will be many more of us required to fully carry out this order. Where are they coming from?
Where are they coming from? Remember, Sheng Thao and her progressive cabal defunded, demoralized, and dismantled our police department to the point where now we have to have California Highway Patrol in the city of Oakland chasing people because Oakland police officers are still not allowed to chase people by city council policy. Go figure, how does that work? But there's no lack of outrage. I mean, there's no outrage from the homeless activists. And I want to point something out. I'm going to find this tweet on X, but when I'm looking for it, it's really really disgusting. I think I got it right now. Okay. Now this tweet is from a burner account that we all believe is run by either Trash Night Heron, Trashy, or Brandon Harami, Sheng Thao staffer, or a combination of both. Why do we say that? It's pretty obvious. If you don't know, you don't know. But everybody on X knows that these are that city-run burners. Look at what he said. Sweeping homeless camps is not a solution to homelessness. Let's make sure anyone who frames it as one is mocked nonstop. This was just a few short months ago. Now that his boss is sweeping up the homeless, this account has been dormant. It's pretty funny. He's just using one of his other mini burners, but not that one because they know we're going to keep bringing that up. But where are the lawsuits? Where are the lawsuits? I remember when every time they tried to clear a homeless encampment, there was a lawsuit. Now, before you say it was because they didn't have Office of Housing and there was a Supreme Court decision, and you would be correct, I don't see any lawsuits being filed or any really aggressive or organized attempts by these tenant or homeless activists to really do anything anymore. Maybe because it's out of political favor. Look at how many cops are here, how many officers you need to abate an encampment. If you haven't even coordinated with the officers yet, how do you plan on doing this? So that's one part. Another thing that should be noted is that the Oakland side's coverage of this. The Oakland side's coverage of the encampment management policies just completely changed its tune the moment the mayor issued this executive order. So I'm going to compare two articles, months apart, about homelessness from the Oakland side. And I want to see if you can spot the differences. So the first one is the Supreme Court case could impact how Oakland sweeps and homeless camps. Cities in California and beyond are closely following the cases. So I'm not going to go through the whole article. Everyone here is saying the same thing they said before the executive order. We're not going to sweep people up. We're going to make sure we're compassionate. We're doing the right thing. We're offering services. I want you to look at the language. They've not weighed in. Nikki Bass refused several requests. Now, Oakland side says Oakland has a controversial encampment policy. Controversial, and they show a picture of a protest. Protests gather outside of City Council member Noel Gallo's house during a remote council meeting to approve the city's encampment management policy in 2020. Remember, the progressives come to your house. You have never seen moderates around progressives' home. I think you saw two people outside protesting Thao when she got arrested. Not a mob of people with masks. But anyway, let's move on. In 2020, the city passed this controversial, here it is again, controversial encampment management policy. Got language. Okay. That language and the whole tone of the article leads you to believe that this policy is cruel, it's bad, and it buoys that with testimonials from the unhoused. Also, they try to demonize neighbors together, right? At the same time, the city faced significant pressure from housed residents to conduct more sweeps in many neighborhoods. We never asked for sweeps, not like that. Residents and groups have lodged complaints about safety hazards, frequent fires, and crime associated with some encampments. And in 2021, an organization called Neighbors Together Oakland sued the city, alleging it was failing to carry out its encampment management policy. That's it. Now we're going to look at another article that came out after Thao released her executive order. And I want you to see if we can find some differences in this in the language here. Closures won't be delayed for shelter availability. Closures won't be delayed for shelter availability. This is right after she said that we were not closing encampments without offers of shelter just a few months ago. Thao is a liar. She's a liar. We all know that, but if you're still one of the people who defend her, look at yourself in the mirror. Look long and hard. Look into the depth of your soul and ask yourself, where am I deficient that I allow someone who's such a terrible, terrible person to make me believe that they're good? What's going on with you inside? There's something going on there. There's some deep-rooted insecurities if you allow someone to be as hypocritical as this lady has been. So, just 1 month after saying she wasn't going to sweep people up, and that's not what Oakland is about, she's changed her tune because we're about to recall her. Now, here's what I'm looking for. The city's encampment policy What's the controversial? Up until now, and I can point to at least 5 Oakland side articles that mention the EMP, and it always calls it controversial. Matter of fact, I'm going to do it. I'm going to do it. Hold on, I didn't mean to stop sharing. I'm going to bring up another one on random. I'm going to Google right now, and I'm putting in Oakland side EMP, and I'm going to show you what it says. Okay, I got a random article up here. I haven't looked at it yet. But I'm just going to pull it up and see what the language is. After a pandemic pause, Oakland ramped up homeless encampment enclosures again. Why? This is back in 2022 when Libby was mayor. What's the picture? A protest. It starts off with talking about the protesters. Okay, I'm looking for the mention of the encampment management policy. Okay, they said we passed a resolution. Oh no, they just went back to there. Okay, they have not called it controversial yet. Okay, here we go. Some talk about the policy. A sweeping set of rules was highly controversial from the start. Notice not a single word was mentioned about the EMP's controversy in that latest article. Why not? Why not? Where's the outrage? Where is the outrage? So here's what I'm going to say. Just like California Highway Patrol chasing people through the streets, performing all of the aggressive law enforcement tactics that City Council in Oakland, including Mayor Thao and Carol Fife, we forbid them from doing, passed aggressive policies to defund, demoralize, and dismantle our police department. No chase policies, negotiate a settlement agreement without any sense of urgency to get us off. But when California Highway Patrol comes and does all the things that Anti-Police Terror Project and the police abolitionists have been claiming was their worst nightmare, where they at? No protests outside of their homes. No protests outside of Sheng Tao's house for implementing the EMP even more aggressively. I'm sorry, that the EMP actually calls for a notice. She's trying to get around that notice, so even more aggressive the encampment management policy implementation. No protests. A whimper, if at best. What's going on here? What's going on is, like I've said from day one, these people are hypocrites and they've been doing these things at the behest of their funders to oversee the managed decline of Oakland. Why do you think Oakland's Mayor Sheng Tao is so connected to human traffickers and drug dealers and the Duong family in Vietnam and all these Chinese nonprofits? What's going on here? We got criminals running this city, and thankfully, Oakland has woken up. Everywhere I go, people call Mayor Sheng Tao what she is, a corrupt, lying criminal. And we are going to recall her in 43 days. Hide that. She's gone. So Gotham Oakland, if you're watching this, please share it. Expose this progressive hypocrisy. We have unhoused neighbors on the street who absolutely need our help. And we're not talking about the drug tourists. I've never changed my tune. I've showed you articles, news stories from my very first press conferences where we included our unhoused neighbors. We included the people around there who wanted these dangerous encampments gone. We've always had an aggressive nuance around the difference between poor people and drug tourism, and the fact that Oakland's permissiveness of anything goes and allowing these open air drug markets and illegal dumping that persists has been the biggest problem. And we never call for the criminalization of poverty or homelessness. But now Oakland's Mayor Thao has absolutely criminalized homelessness and poverty. Would you hold her accountable? Progressives, real progressives, would you hold her accountable? Will you hold Oakland's District 3 City Council member, Carol Fife, who's completely involved with this plan, will you hold her accountable? Because 2024, like Cat Williams said, the truth is coming out. And these people are exposing themselves. And we cut the grass real low in Oakland. The neighbors cut the grass real low in Oakland. The people power revolution has cut the grass real low in Oakland. And so we can see all the snakes now. We can see you, Carol Fife. We can see you, Rebecca Kaplan. We can see you, Thao. Where you at, Nikki Bass? Where's your protest? Your tenant activists, where's your protest? Where's your admonishment the way you treated Libby and Lauren and Gallo and all the people who said they wanted the encampment management policy that you voted for, by the way? It was a unanimous vote, even though it was controversial. No accountability, but we're going to get it in 43 days when we recall the mayor and when we fire Fife and we watch Nikki Bass lose her trying to fail upwards for Board of Supervisors. And the moment she loses and comes back to Oakland, we're going to recall her too. We're not playing no games in Gotham Oakland. We're going to turn the city around. I love you guys. Peace out. Till next time, remember, like, comment, subscribe. Make sure you share this with your friend. I love you. Appreciate you.
Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here. Yo, I swear it's only up from here.